it up and Hey, welcome to Pilot Season. I'm your host and showrunner, Ryan Burkett. Pilot Season airs monthly on the Trident Network, a three-pronged entertainment company featuring live shows on Twitch like this, web series and videos you can find places like YouTube, and podcasts of every single genre. Every episode of Pilot Season, a team of writers and a team of actors collaborate on an original sitcom pilot live. The way it's always been done. No one will tell you that. It's one of the gatekeepers keep that from us. And if anything, I'm a truth teller. This is how sitcoms are made. Joining me and making sure this happens every episode is my tech support, my stage manager, and my friend, M. Smith. M, welcome to Pilot Season.
Hey, Ryan, I'm so happy to be here.
How's it going tonight?
It's pretty good. Wow, I don't think I've gotten applause before. That's really nice and new. It's you know what? It's such a sunny day that everybody's in a good mood in spite of themselves.
I'll take it. I know that it means doom for the planet we're on in space, but I didn't. I put my coat in a backpack yesterday and walked home in a t-shirt.
Gorgeous.
It's called living in the moment. Em, you also produce a show for Trident. Do you have anything coming up soon?
Yeah, I produce and star in and write and perform The Witching Hour with my friend Kayla Mullenix. It's the third Monday of every month. So we just had our episode this month, but we will do the same thing next month. We always have a guest and talk about witchy stuff, and it's always fun. And you can smoke weed while you do it.
Yeah, every episode you can learn about a new favorite herb.
Yes, we learned about weed last week, actually.
And we're getting ready to meet our teams of writers and actors. Before we do that, we're going to need to get a suggestion from our Twitch audience. Every few episodes, we start a new arc, a new genre of sitcom. Right now, we're in the middle of dramedies. So we are doing sitcom pilots where we're introducing like the light and the dark together. Shows like The Bear, which is about being stressed at work and screaming. And I do love it. It films in Chicago, and I will say that I love it. The people who think it's hilarious are maybe like when you're looking at who to like keep or cut from your circle. If someone's like, oh my God, I was crying laughing watching the Bear Christmas episode. Fish out a window and mascara screaming. Anyway, so what we need to get from our audience as in forms of a suggestion, we need either a very serious situation or location where nothing funny would happen, where people will be like, don't laugh, it's not funny. There's that show Divorce, for example. Miracle comedy is Divorce. Or we could get a very serious setting. I believe last episode we had the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Our audience isn't inspired in that way. They could offer us a drama. They could be like, it's blank, only funny. It's Succession, only it's a sitcom. It's Game of Thrones, only it's a sitcom. And then we'll build our inspiration from there. All right. While Emma's doing that, we're going to meet our teams. We have writers and actors. Everybody knows that I love writers. I am one. I cherish them. I respect them. But on Pilot Season, we meet the actors first. All right. So joining us this episode of Pilot Season. I don't see them yet.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good. Here we are. Hey, everybody. We're meeting our actors first. It's the glamorous way. We want to get this show picked up. Joining us again, we've had him once before. It's an all-star. We have Nick Davis. Nick, welcome back to Pilot Season.
Hello. Thank you. Happy to be here as always. This is so much fun. So I just appreciate you having me.
Thanks, Nick. Nick, if you could be a sitcom sidekick, if you could be like the little buddy, the bestie to any sitcom character, who would you pick?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think if I was gonna be a sitcom sidekick, like my first thought was I would like to be there for George in Seinfeld. But then as I'm thinking about it, I'm just as neurotic, so I don't think I would be any help because I was thinking like maybe I could calm him down a couple of times. No, I would be right there like, what is happening? Like I think that's the first thought I had, but maybe it's because we'd be so alike. I'm definitely, when I was younger, I thought I was a Jerry, but I'm a George all day.
I I got in an argument with my best friend one time, and I finally it snapped, and I was like, "You think you're Jerry and I'm George, but we're both George."
Yeah.
We
I
moved
think most of
forward.
us are George. Like,
Also back for the second time, but first time as an actor, we have John Francis.
Hello.
John, welcome back to pilot season. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
John, a similar question, but for sitcom families. And I'm gonna pose this to you two ways. If you could join any existing sitcom family, which one would it be? You're like the 10th season like add-on, like you're the cousin to try to like save the show. Or if there's a sitcom family that most resembles your real life family.
Ooh. Ooh. That second one, I feel like I'd have to think about a little bit. I've definitely been like, yeah, that's my family, but which show was it? Aspects of them, because I could say some pretty, dark ones. I've I've been binging The Walking Dead lately, and who would want to be a part of that family? Truly be the ones who live. I would, if we're gonna go, who am I gonna try to? Why not The Simpsons? Bring me in as a season 35.
Yeah.
Who would I be? I like someone Lisa meets. I don't know. Not even sure where they're at. I would love to come in with the express purpose of I'm trying to like revamp The Simpsons. That would be, I'd be Poochie. I would be
Yeah.
I'd be the Poochie. That would be great. I would, I think everybody else my age who grew up with The Simpsons would be totally unaware that I was on it because I don't think people watch it that. Is it young people who watch it now, or I just stopped watching. I was at one point.
So it goes in waves. Every 3 or 4 season, you'll hear somebody say, like, what's gotten really good again? And it makes me think that The Simpsons is always kind of good.
Yeah, that's because I never was like turned off by it, but I did just sort of 30 seasons, I've other stuff on Sundays now. But I mean, having said that, more than any other television family, I would love to join and see what they're up to.
It's time they fostered an adult. Also joining us for the first time, we have Elyse Ruppert. Elyse, welcome to pilot season.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Elyse, since this is your first time on pilot season, I do have a really important initial question, and that is, what is your favorite sitcom? This could be of all time, something you've binged recently, what have you.
I think 30 Rock is cemented into my brain, and I could watch it on the back of my eyelids, seeing nods. So I like this crowd.
Yeah.
I need to go back and take an actual tally, but I think we've heard 30 Rock. That's like the all-star favorite sitcom.
Yeah.
For this. Follow-up question, if you could live in any sitcom town, which would you pick?
Ooh, sitcom town. I think Happy Endings, because it's Chicago, but it's actually LA. So it's Chicago, but it's kind of what's happening right now in a global warming scenario where it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And you think you're in Friends, but really you're fucked up. So yeah.
That's a great answer. That's a really That's an unsung sitcom. And when there's a show like that, rather than like, oh, bring it back, let's do it, let's get them back together. I think once in a while they should just pop a show like that back onto the schedule. Just show those like 40 episodes or so. Just put them back on and see what happens. Joining us on the writer's side for the first time, we have Ashley Ganski. Ashley, welcome to Pilot Season. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Ashley, same initial question, favorite sitcom?
I might echo 30 Rock, but since it was said, I'll go with Pen 15. Those are like, they battle it out as like my top ones.
Pen 15 is another one in like the people who think it's hilarious and the people who think it's painful and the people who think it's a documentary. You can really like pick who you want to hang out with at any given moment.
Right. There were moments in watching that where I was like, am I in the Truman Show? Was my childhood filmed and it's making me uncomfortable and feel attacked and seen at the same time. So yeah, it's hard.
Ashley, same follow-up question that Nick got. If you could be any sitcom characters like bestie, any little buddy on a sitcom, who would you pick?
So I'm currently binging, and this would be like a dramedy. I'm currently rewatching Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Okay.
And so I would go to be, I'd want to be like the role of like Willow, like that sidekick where it's like that nerdy, says that little quippy line, but is like weak, like doesn't have any talent or skills in anything that's going on in the way that can be kind of useless but fun at the same time within that world. Yep. Constantly getting into the hijinks. Good old Sunnydale, all of those fun.
Yeah. So next up on the writers team, we have Jake Gunst. Jake, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Jake, we need to know your favorite sitcom.
I'll say Arrested Development.
I think Arrested Development is my highest rate of watching clips on YouTube.
Okay.
I watched a montage of all of the Liza Minnelli moments the other night, and then I watched a montage of all the Martin Short moments, and it was just so beautiful.
Yeah, I might have said 30 Rock, but I nixed it because it had been said. So
sorry, taken.
Jake, if you could work any sitcom job, which would you pick? Any workplace comedy, and you do have to do the job.
Oh, okay. Like the characters on the show are doing the job. I guess like one of the shows that's like about like a late night talk show.
Yeah.
I think there's like several of them, but I guess that.
We talked about Larry Sanders recently, and it came up how many hallways there are to run down in that show, and that seems exciting. All the different rooms that pop out and surprise you. Joining us again, another pilot season all-star, but for the first time on the writers team, we have Rebekah Trombley. Becky, welcome back to pilot season.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So Becky, in this scenario, you are a network executive with like full green light power. You can bring back any old sitcom for like one more season, Frasier style. Which one would you?
Well, the first thing that came to my panicked mind was just Golden Girls, but you would have to do a full recast. But then it reminded me that they did do a spin-off of that show, where they owned a hotel, so it's already been done. But why not? Let's try it again. Let's find some new blood. Some ladies that are not that old, but we decide that they're Golden Girls, and we'll see what happens.
I love that. Em, have we gotten a suggestion from our chat yet?
Yes, we have many, and that's part of the reason I was distracted. I would encourage. I'm going to read you a portion of them, but I would so recommend going back and reading them all. We have an intervention, or and slash or an AA meeting. We have hospital waiting room and or morgue. A struggling charity store, a school for troubled teens, and of course an orphanage.
Does anybody hear any instant like favorites? Anything sparked by any of those? So we'll narrow it down some.
I mean, morgue, that's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, the morgue definitely caught my attention as well. That one was fun.
I do like the idea of a show that's an intervention, and every episode is just one more person reading a letter. It never ends. Does everybody like morgue? Is there another one?
It was technically hospital waiting room / morgue, which implies that everyone died.
So we have, in the hospital, there's the waiting room, and they don't know yet.
Yeah.
And then in the morgue is the people who they do know.
They know.
Does the morgue have a waiting room? Maybe it's like people waiting to be like, that's her.
It's like The Office with the office and the warehouse workers.
Yeah.
The important thing is, does this feel dark enough to you? I think we'll go with morgue. Em, we're going to discuss this and break this down a little more. While we're doing that, would you check back in with our audience and see if we can get some ideas for titles?
Yes.
All right. Let's start with our actors. We'll start with Nick. Just going off this initial suggestion, are there any characters that you're interested in creating? Anything that you're inspired by with this setting? People that you see like around this world?
Well, right off the bat, I was thinking that somebody that works in the morgue that probably shouldn't work in the morgue, but it's perfect for them, is a very goth character that's just very just so like, life is fleeting, but whatever. Like and like they're working on their bedside manner with people that have to come in and identify bodies, but they just can't seem to master the idea of like being nice and personable and not being such a downer. So I immediately was thinking of a goth character, and I have a bird, so I was like, maybe that'll, yeah.
I mean, this is Chekhov's bird now. We have to see it eventually.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Elyse, same question. Any characters you're inspired to create, or people that you think we might see around this morgue / waiting room?
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing a aspiring doctor. It's like, this is my shortcut to the top, which is not how medicine works. And maybe like criminal investigator who like hangs out, pops in, wants to know what's up at the morgue, solves
Yeah.
crimes.
I love both of those. John, same question. Who might we meet that you're going to create?
Well, I think, if everything goes according to plan, you'll meet. I'm feeling pretty nervous about wanting to stay on the hospital side of the morgue hospital, being in the waiting room and, using the power of positive thinking. I'm more of a hospital guy,
Yeah.
than the morgue guy, but, maybe I'm a little nervous about, if that's true or not. But yeah, definitely want to stay on the hospital side, I think. Go
Yeah.
the hospital path.
Yeah. You guys need anything from the hospital? I'm just gonna let's check in with our writers. We'll start with Jake. Jake, any scenarios or situations that you're predicting for this, or that you're interested in seeing?
Yeah. Something about the idea of assuming that all the morgue bodies are crime victims when they could just die naturally. Yeah, something about the play between the hospital and the morgue is funny, like the land of the living and the land of the dead. Um, Also, like maybe it's a um, sort of uh, like somebody was just saying, like a home for like failed medical personnel. Like
Yeah,
you're not good enough to work on living bodies.
like you you can't lose another.
Right, yeah, like what's gonna go for it?
And Jake, can you give us a location we might see in this, like a specific location within the morgue, the hospital, et cetera, that you'd like to see in this show?
Well, I mean, obviously, I want to see the room with the drawers with people on them.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, it's cold in there, I think. Yeah.
All right, Ashley, any scenarios or situations that you want to see these characters get into?
I I was in my head went to um the efficiency of like a hospital. Like I went to like the administrators being like, this is not going smoothly. Like there's too many bodies here. You guys aren't like going through this like or like just it's like someone really focused on the efficiency of the morgue and like where it's not moving fast enough with like things aren't moving fast enough with bodies that aren't moving clearly, which that was kind of fun for me to think through. I'm thinking like the I Love Lucy with the candy like shop, like things are
Yeah,
um
of course.
that kind of concept in a morgue. Those two things felt really funny in my head.
Ashley, what is our time period? Is this set in the present day? Are we in the past somewhere?
um I have really been living in the 90s right now, so I kind of want to like I like kind of feel like the 90s vibe of like a 90s hospital scene feels. And it might be my binge watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so maybe I just really living in that zone. But that feels like a time zone that feels good to me.
I
Early
do
90s.
find when we do these and we're pre-smartphone, it's much more fruitful for comedy. Also, that efficiency program that you inspired is now all on paper. I'm more excited. Becky, same initial question. Any situations or scenarios you'd like to see these guys get up to?
Yeah, I feel like we have to see, the classic, the gurneys in the hallway with the living person and it actually gets rolled over into the morgue and they don't know where what body went and what's gonna happen next.
That's my favorite subplot in the movie 9 to 5. Movie 9 to 5 is about so many things besides what they say it's about. It's a perfect movie. It is so long, and every hour it starts over and it's something new. Becky, back to you being a network executive with light power. So you're the person who has picked this show. Let us know, like, what kind of network it's on. Is this a show for adults? Does it have a laugh track? Is it shot like a movie, etc.?
Ooh, yeah, I think we're coming back to we want a laugh track. We want, the whole family to watch this, to enjoy it. It's gonna be on that network station. Yeah, just really like classic, like nostalgia feel for a sitcom.
I love that. I do want to clarify, though, thanks to a generous grant from the Trident Network, several FCC fines have been paid in advance. So if there are any language issues, if any actors drop any F-bombs or any bombs of any kind, you're covered. Em, have we gotten a title for this beautiful show?
We've gotten several. They are Rigor Mortis, Rigor Morris, and they're saying there's a character named Morris. We have Working Stiffs. We have Grey's Anatomy 2. We have 6 Feet Over It. We have Dying to Get In, The Basement Crew, Bodies, 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 and Reapers.
All right. Any favorites? I saw some people light up on a couple of these. Any that jump out?
I
What was
like
the what was the second
I
one?
like bodies, 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 but I want it to be like 2 more bodies, like bodies 5 times.
Working stiff and rigor mortis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
working
rigor
stiff got
mortis.
me.
Working
Both
stiffs.
very
Right.
good. Both very
These
good.
are so good.
Yeah, I'm like, should we switch places?
I know, right? Like, who's in the audience? You guys type in the
Um,
chat.
Keep in mind, we'll also need an episode title. So if we pick one of those, if we pick rigor mortis, then it could be bodies, 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 bodies. Or vice versa, or whatever. I'll defer to the group.
I love it.
You want to go with rigor mortis?
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. M, as always, it's your responsibility to spell all of these words.
Yep. I'm on it.
If it's hyphened, if there's parentheses, what have you. We're getting ready to do our cold open. This is our scene right before the credits, the opening credits. It's going to be a quick one. We're going to meet our characters. We're going to hit a hard joke, and then M's going to call it to the credits. Actors, do you feel ready? We've got a big assignment. Writers, we know what we need to do. M, are you ready for the cold open of rigor mortis, bodies, 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 bodies?
I'm so ready. Let's do it.
So there's a lot of bodies today.
Yeah, this is a little more than usual. I mean, do they normally? I mean, is there any reason that they're not in the morgue? Yeah, they're kind of just all in this hallway here, and people walk through here.
A lot of bodies. Am I in the right place? My friend of mine, I got a page that a friend of mine was in the hospital. I see a lot of bodies though. A lot of bodies.
Was there a boat sink?
Yeah.
It's like a Titanic 2.0?
Are these from the boat?
Oh shit.
No,
Is your friend a body? Uh-oh.
Oh yeah.
What does he look like?
Yeah, I think I'm take a look around.
They told me hospital. They told me I don't think he's well, he obviously is a body.
You
but
got a page that said hospital?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it was a callback number, and I looked it up in the yellow pages, and it was it was the hospital's phone number.
I'm so glad you just came up here because it's at the current moment, there's no technology that exists where you could call ahead or anything from anywhere outside of your home. So I'm just glad that you were here, because that's what a good friend would do, is to come to claim. So we can take a look around. Normally we do this in the morgue, which I'm not saying your friend is dead. I'm not, I'm just saying there's a chance.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm probably in the wrong place. I'm gonna go. Is there a doctor or like a hospital facing side to this?
Do you think?
Yeah, let me
Do you
see
think
if
you can?
I'm gonna check on Dr. Greg. I'm gonna see if Dr. Greg's over there while y'all talk here.
I'm a future doctor. If you need a hand, do you think you can identify anyone here besides your friend? Because we got a lot of them, and they look like they died of wetness. So.
Well, yeah, that one looks is bloated from water polite. I don't know the right terminology, doctor, but yeah, that
it's a future doctor. It's a bloated from water is a technical term for sure. Did your friend by chance have a face tattoo? Because we got a few in here.
Not as of lunchtime.
I heard that somebody needed a doctor to come in here. I was on my lunch break working on my model trains, but I'm happy to assist with any questions you may have regarding these 29, I think, counted bodies that we have decorating our hallway.
Dr. Greg needed in the body hall.
Oh God, I swear you never just get a moment to play with your model trains.
Hey, Dr. Greg.
And that's the end of the cold open.
Couldn't get my thing to unblur. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, it's like you were
Dr.
hosting
Greg.
the game for a second.
Dr. Greg is just blurred always.
All right, so we
I was gonna say we couldn't get him to sign his paper.
so we've met a few characters. These feel to me like characters that we may see throughout the episode. Correct me if I'm wrong. We'll start with our actors. Elyse, is this character that we've seen in the cold open one that you see continuing throughout the episode?
Yeah, I feel really at one with him, I think. Yeah.
All right. Give us a piece of either their backstory, something from their history that you'd like our writers and the other actors to know, or a personality, like a characteristic about them that you'd like us to know.
Yeah. Future Dr. Greg is or Kyle. We'll go with Kyle. Because Dr. Greg already exists. He played minor league football and had an injury, and that inspired him to chase medicine next.
he met a doctor. It was like
He met a physical therapist and he said, "I've got this."
Perfect. John, same question. Is the character that we've seen of this this friend of a maybe dead person, are we going to see them throughout the episode? And if so, tell us a little bit of something about them, about their background.
I mean, I think you'll see this character some more. Maybe, you know, the way these hospital shows go, maybe this would be his only episode, but I think you know, so my friend was I said yes to the boating accident. So we're coworkers who were out on the boats. So I'm gonna say that we're private equity traders.
Okay.
In the 90s, which I think was pretty sweet. We were out on our boats and yeah, and then I have a pager. And totally in denial about mortality, I think. Also, and this boat, whatever happened out there on that boat is going to be a pivotal day, I think. Perhaps.
Nick, same question. Is Dr. Greg someone that we're going to continue to see? And if so, give us a little insight. Tell us a fact about him.
So I think just sitting here thinking about him, I think his model train obsession comes from maybe he's had somebody had mentioned Grey's Anatomy, and I was thinking like love can come into this, and maybe he had some romance that didn't go well. So he is basically shut off himself to the world by building an entire model train set inside of his office. And all of his analogies about medicine and everything are going to have train puns in them. So everything's going to be some way related to a train.
I love that. And on the Grey's Anatomy note, no matter how serious the dramatic show is set in a hospital, part of it hinges on who you have a crush on. Let's start with our writers. Ashley, we're getting ready to do Act 1 of Rigor Mortis. Where is our first scene set? What is the physical location of our first scene?
I like the idea of kind of that napping room that all the doctors nap in all the shows. That's not, I don't think, real in real hospitals. I think maybe it is, but from what I understand, they're not all just napping and sleeping with each other in those on-call rooms.
Yeah, when you have like a 50-hour shift and you want to get
yeah. So I would love for them to be in a napping on-call room.
Love it. Jake, how much time has passed between our cold open and our first scene?
Like 20 minutes.
Okay. So actors have a little urgency when we come back. And then Becky, give us a line of dialogue that you would like to hear in Act 1.
Ooh, I'm thinking there goes that football. I almost said wound, but that's not that football sprain flaring up again.
Football wound.
There goes that football sprain flaring up again.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Bonus points if you call it a wound first, and then
Yeah, if you call it a wound.
I'm calling it a wound.
so actors, put that one up top. Get it ready. Okay, so we have our characters. We're 20 minutes later. This first scene is set in the nap room of the morgue or hospital, and that ankle wound is flaring up again. Em, are you ready for Act 1 of Rigor Mortis?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Hey, Dr. Greg.
Ugh.
Future Dr. Kyle here. Sorry to
Hey,
wake you.
Kyle. No problem at all. I just had a long, rousing day of planting tracks around some AstroTurf that I picked up at the Hobby Lobby, and then of course boat accidents happen. What are you gonna do?
Totally. I think your interest in trains is really cool.
Hey. I try. It's what all the cool kids like. I was just glad to be awake because I was having quite the nightmare. But I had a nightmare that we had 29 bodies in the hallway. Oh wait, that is real.
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't help carry any of them to the morgue. My old football wound is acting up.
Yeah, no. Hey, I totally understand. You can't take a whole body on by yourself, and we sold all those gurneys because of cutbacks. So hey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just got to stack them how we can. Life's a train like that. Sometimes you don't know where the track's going to go, but it's going to go somewhere. And you just got to make sure that you have enough clearance to go through the tunnel.
Yeah. You know what would be cool if we had a train to carry the bodies. Feels like something you'd be into.
Oh my God. You are preaching to the choir. You know how many times I have brought that up in the executive board meeting only to be laughed at, or had a hot dog thrown at me, or all sorts of things. They have screamed at me for this idea, but if you're on board with this, we can present this. I've just wanted somebody else that believes in my vision.
Me? Just a future doctor? You'd let me talk to the board? They normally don't let me in there anymore.
Hey, let me tell you something about being a future doctor. Sometimes, as a future doctor, you got to let passengers in. And sometimes you got to ask yourself, did they have a ticket? Did they have a ticket to ride? And that's what it's about. You have to ask yourself, who has a ticket to ride on your career train? And I'm here to guide you along. Next stop, the top.
Oh, I'm
Choo-choo.
honored.
Yeah, hey, I took you under my wing for a reason. I see potential in you, I see you got a lot of coal and it is going to burn.
And the doors are closing. I am ready for the next stop. Let me be the caboose, please, to your train. I'm sorry. Was that weird?
No, it's not. You're selling yourself short. You are an engine. You don't realize it yet. We are just two engines. We got to build you a track. That's what I'm here for. Put down a couple stakes in the ground, build you a track.
For sure. Are future doctors allowed to nap in here too, or is this just a real doctor thing?
Hey, if you collect a paycheck from here, you can nap anywhere. I have napped all over this hospital. Standing straight up in the waiting room before.
I've napped in the morgue.
Oh,
just slide yourself into one of those little compartments. It's nice and cool. No one knows.
And it's cold in there too. And I'm not a warm guy. I like it to be cold.
For sure. Yeah.
So were you waiting to find out if your friend died?
Yeah. I am I in the right place to talk about that with you guys? Or I don't want to come into the nap room. I like the nap room. I got, don't want to wake.
You need a nap?
I would like a nap if I'm gonna be here a while. My friend Kendall
died.
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah. There was a fish in his pocket, so I am assuming that it had water was somehow related to the death, in my professional opinion.
Okay. You're sure about that? Just
Well, seeing that fish typically, there are a few places that you can have a fish. You can either have you can get one at the supermarket. They're usually dead there. You can have an aquarium, or you could have one out of an ocean or a lake or a large body of water. Seeing that we do live on a large body of water, I'm assuming because it seemed pretty fresh. It still flapped a little bit. The fish. Your friend did not. He was dead.
a fish survived. Can I,
Yeah, they did.
Okay, so he's
Go
my
figure.
coworker. It's awful. Is there any way as maybe that I could take the fish back to the office? So
Yeah. I just had to make sure nobody named it. If anybody's named it, that's officially hospital property. I'll check on that for you.
someone's named it.
Yeah, once you name something, it's yours. That's just hospital rules. That's the Hippocratic oath.
Yeah, well, if
And I
no
hope-
one's named it, I would like to name it Kendall's Killer, I guess.
How can I pull you to the side for a second?
Yeah, of course. Yes, doctor.
They've named that fucking fish.
It feels,
They have.
pardon the pun, sir, but it feels fishy to me.
Oh, absolutely. It reeks of fishiness.
Mhm. Oh,
And
yeah.
I know that already we have fed this fish chunks of Frito-Lays and it ate them. And we are taking care of, they are taking care of a fish up there.
And Dr. Rick, I think the fish is definitely fishy, but I also think that Kendall's friend here, they all look like greasy little private equity boys. Like, I
Oh,
think that's the fishy part. Like, I think maybe it wasn't a fish related killing. I think maybe there was something going on that boat.
oh my God. You might be onto something because they do seem extremely greasy and not the type of grease that keeps a wheel moving as far as like a
Yeah.
track. They seem like the type of grease that it's not the type of grease you want.
Yeah.
So, what do I got to do to get this fish from you guys?
Oh,
Is this a matter of money? What do you want?
I had to check to see if they named it because how would I know if they've named it? How do I
Maybe
know?
we should name it Natalie Woods. Seems like a real Natalie Woods situation. Famously died on a boat.
Yeah,
Foul play.
yeah.
I don't know Kendall's friend, if that is your real name. What is your name, by the way?
That is, I'm Fisher.
Huh.
Fisher.
I'm Fisher Wallace.
Hmm.
Dr. Kyle, we need an aside real quick.
Please. Sorry, excuse us, Fisher.
Fisher, are you freaking kidding me? Are you
Fisher.
kidding me right now?
Do you think that's
something-
Fisher
something
Price?
happened. Yeah, no, this seems like foul play all day.
The Price family is notoriously, smuggling drugs in their toys. Yeah, I should
Oh.
know that all the football guys did them.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. I had a son that I haven't spoke to in 20 years, but I do remember when he was a child, we bought him a wagon wheel and there was all sorts of cocaine in it. And I don't know how it got there. Well, that was a weird Christmas, but that is, I think you're right. The Fisher Price is a scummy business.
Hey, doctors, morgue staff.
Yeah. Just shine it up.
Yeah, just complimenting him on being such a good dad, probably.
I was a long time ago.
Let's cut the crap. You guys figured out I'm Fisher Price.
Oh, you are the Fisher Price.
Yeah, I told you my name. That was mistake one. Look, I've been listening the whole time. You want a train system to
Damn
move
it.
bodies around? I have a Fisher Price toy company. I just want a fish. Let's make something happen here. I believe in this.
Dr.
I'm
Greg is
taking this
needed in the
train.
body hall. Dr. Greg to the body hall.
Hold that thought. I'm going to check to make sure nobody else has died.
Is Dr. Greg here?
Uh, no. What do you need?
Well, don't tell anyone, but I'm an undercover cop.
Oh,
Fuck, wait, damn it. Oh, not again.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Okay, this was beautiful. I truly lost track of it being Act One until just now, and I was like, oh, we have a full episode to do. Let's check in with our actors. Elyse, we're gonna start with you. We have Kyle. We have this new introduction of this undercover cop. This really leads into the question I was going to start with. Are there any like character relationships that you want to explore, like professionally, friendships, new like characters on screen together that we haven't seen, or any new characters you're inspired to create for Act Two?
Well, I just brought in the cop. I'd love to see more of him. I think maybe he is like a regular around the hospital, so he probably has history with Dr. Greg. Yeah, maybe Dr. Greg doesn't want like another policeman meddling in the medical field, except now they have to work together begrudgingly.
Somebody asking too many questions.
Yeah.
Nick, same question. Any new characters that you're thinking of to create, or any like interactions or relationships that you want to introduce among our existing characters?
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think. There may be the love interest that drove Dr. Greg's obsession shows up at some point. And then I still think there could be that morgue worker guy at some point, and maybe he knows something. But you know, something like that. So yeah, something around those, I think. So just these connections, and I love this like this relationship with future Dr. Kyle and Dr. Greg, and like taking future Dr. Kyle under his wing, and because there's probably something there with the son that he totally abandoned. He probably killed somewhere. Like, yeah.
Yeah, you really brought some dramedy to the toys full of cocaine and the abandoned son and everything. That was really that felt like a Bear flashback to me.
All drama, fun drama.
John, same questions. Any new like matchups of characters that we have existing that you'd like to try, or any new characters that you'd like to introduce to us as we keep going?
Well, to introduce, they referenced multiple finance people being there.
Greasy finance bros.
Yeah, which if they all are exactly like me, that's a stereotype of sorts. As far as relationships, no, I mean we got to see what the cop wants, and if because I did just offer to build their train in exchange for, so there's a little bit of a choice there as far as whose side the cop's on. I think it'd be very interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, for sure. Let's check in with our writers. Ashley, what's next? What would you like to see in Act Two? It could be a new situation, a new location, anything involving characters.
Yeah, I mean, I think just the throwaway line of like, you're probably a good dad, probably. I love the idea of like seeing like what that means in that realm. And I mean the concept of why he loves trains so much, like what I mean, you love a sitcom that makes you cry in in a way, and like all those feelings. So what happened with his son, and why does he love trains so much? And is he willing to stake his career or give up his morals to Fisher Price to get the train that he always wanted?
Totally. I will say most of my questions so far as like a viewer of this are about trains.
Yeah.
Vicky, same question. What are some like storylines you'd like to see, some new even locations introduced, etc.?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, I would love to see a son reunion. That'd be great if he, rolled in alive, not dead. And then that train, like I'd love to see like, the hospital / morgue parking lot, like building out a giant train that bodies can ride on.
Yeah, they have to take
Maybe trying to hide it from the cops, like, oh, nothing to see here, officer.
Jake, same initial question. Any scenarios or plot points you'd like us to see in Act 2?
I'd like to see more like boat accidents.
Yeah, are we
more bodies? I want 5 times the amount of bodies.
have we said geographically where this show is set?
On a large body of water.
Lake Tide.
On a really small body of water.
Yeah, even better.
Yeah.
It's just next to like a fountain. Jake, before this next question, I do want to shout out, and Nick, feel free to use this later in the show, but one of the plot points from the writers that scrolled by pretty fast that I jotted down was when Dr. Greg sneezes, it choo-choos like a train.
It's that.
And
That is amazing.
it really touched me. And so that's one of your challenges, is to make that happen. But also, Jake, if we could get a line of dialogue that you'd like to hear in Act 2.
Boy, there's a lot of wet bodies around here.
Boy, there's a lot of wet bodies around here.
Bingo.
All right. So writers, we have a whole like plot to help wrangle. Actors, you know what you need to do for your characters and their friends and family that we haven't met yet, coworkers. Em, are you ready for Act 2 of Rigor Mortis?
I honestly can't wait. Let's go.
Let's do it.
I don't think Dr. Greg realizes it's more than 29. There's 5 times the amount of bodies here. There are bodies. 5 times 29, that's 143. No, I don't know. I'm a doctor's assistant, not a mathematician. I'm not sure. I don't know why the morgue isn't picking them up.
It's just too many. We got to overflow. Like, they're all soaking wet too, so I'm trying to blow dry them with a hair dryer best I can, but it's not working.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
God.
using like all these old newspapers just to try to sop this up. And I mean, what are we supposed to do? We can't have people slipping and then just adding to the problem, you know?
Yeah,
Not
no,
to get
definitely.
too- I'm gonna check with the morgue guy real quick. Let me get this guy, because I don't know what's happening down there.
Beautiful day out on the boat. 150 of us. Nothing could go wrong today.
We're rich, we do drugs.
What? Oops. What? Ah.
All right. Hey, guess what? I just sold another 50 shares of Ford.
I'm down here in the water.
Oh no, it looks like one of the boats crashed. And our
Oh,
super
no.
mega yacht is heading right towards it.
Help us! Help our boat just crashed.
That mega yacht is gonna tear right through our tiny little 400-foot super yacht.
I know we always mock you as having the smaller boat, but let us on.
I
don't
thought
know.
there must be at least 29 people on that boat, maybe 5 times that.
Yeah, there could be.
5 times that. I counted 5 times. It was 145, I think.
All right, one last Coke line for the road, boys. It's been an honor trading stocks with you.
Then an honor to that big NASDAQ in the sky.
You'll always be my stock bro.
Woo! Oh, God!
So what did you need, officer?
Just trying to get to the bottom of this. It's not looking, it's looking pretty sus, to use some industry talk.
Well, you're gonna have to be more. I don't have a lot of law enforcement background, officer. So sus,
Listen.
but wet. It was a pretty wet day.
Oh, yeah, it's wet. It's for sure. Yeah, no, this is giving boat crime to me, for sure.
Oh no, this was illegal. This was illegal sinking. Totally.
Listen, I don't want to talk too much about my college days. I feel like there were drugs involved here. Just have a
No,
feeling.
no. The morgue guys told me no. They said no. They said there's a lot of water and a fish. I named the fish, by the way, if anyone asks. I named the fish before we even got to the hospital, if that comes up.
Hmm. I don't know. Boat crimes, they weigh on me. Gonna need a beer to get through this. God.
Hey, I just wanted to tell you real quick that if Dr. Greg comes back, tell him that I'm okay with hiding all that information about the drugs train. Just tell him when he gets back. I gotta figure out what to do with all these bodies. God.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
Yeah, it's this whole thing that he told me that he really he's got some kind of deal in the works, so where he wants to like get like a train to come through the hospital or something, but like I gotta hide all the information that they all tested positive for cocaine, WD-40, all sorts of
right.
inhalants. And
I
I've
knew
got to
it.
hide all that information. So if he comes back, just tell him.
Hilarious. He's hilarious.
I've never seen a boat crime that didn't involve coke. All right.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. It's always some sort of substance that caused them to crash, whether it's coke or gunpowder or anthrax. It's always something. Believe me, I see all kinds down the morgue. We got snacks down there too. We're trying to be more friendly. So if you get bored, we got donuts.
Sorry, side note, are you allowed to bring a bird to the morgue?
Oh, don't mind Bartleby. It's a sweet bird.
Okay.
Hilarious stuff. A little too soon for right after a boat tragedy, but
yeah,
it was what a satirical takedown of our terrible boat tragedy that is not based in fact at all.
It's a boat crime, not a boat tragedy, and it's a boat crime, okay? And I'm gonna need to see that fish, and I'm gonna need to talk to Dr. Greg. Sir, with the bird, can you please find your supervisor?
Yeah, I don't mind. And I'm gonna say one thing because you said this about my bird. I'd much rather be a bird flying in the sky than a dirty fish in the water. Okay?
Okay.
He didn't mean it, Bartleby. Let's go.
Wow. And Miss Fisher Price, is it?
Don't
leave the state.
Don't leave the state. Okay.
Yeah, don't leave the state.
What is
while we're conducting, I don't know, it's just the thing that cops say. Jesus, it's a boat crime.
I'm not going to leave the state because I'm mourning a boat tragedy here, not a crime.
Boat crime.
And I have a lot of money to say that with. Okay? I don't know. What kind of cop are you? Good
Maritime.
Cop? Your time cop?
Maritime.
Maritime.
/ undercover.
Well,
I'm a good time cop at the end of the day.
A good time. You know, we were having so much fun on the boat this morning. It would have been great if you'd been out there. Really would have. I think you would have gotten along with.
To be honest, I want to be clear. I specialize in boat crimes. I don't touch train crimes or plane crimes for family reasons.
Can a train be even involved in a crime?
God.
Oh,
Brett,
yeah.
I need to talk to Dr. Greg here.
Wait, are you a cop? Because your hat's on backwards.
I'm undercover.
I knew it. Dirty cop. You're a good time cop.
I'm good time boat crime, and I'm here to investigate. What do you know, Doc?
Before I say anything, can I interest you in a nice cold natty light?
Oh, I just finished this one.
Hey, that's perfect time for another one.
Perfect. Thanks,
There might
Doc.
be a $10 bill on the side of that, but I don't know how they got there. Why you just stick some things that are wet?
I'm
So I'm going to be making my way in-state tuition, in-state everything, just back to the Fisher Price fishery down by the dock. If anybody wants to investigate, talk things over, have some good times out on boat 2, you know where to find me.
I like what you're saying, but you're being a little fishy, pun intended. And we'll be in touch, Fisher.
Okay,
Yeah.
and remember that train.
Hey,
Remember,
don't forget about your friends at the hospital that may have shredded documents. Before you pull out of the station.
you always cut me up, guys. Okay, I'll see you.
Take it easy, pal. Good guy. Lots of money. So what can I help you with, cop?
Listen, I'm not here for a long time, just a good time. I'm trying to investigate this boat crime. And I'm wondering what you can tell me about this fish and maybe the toxicology reports. A man with a bird came in here and also mentioned a train possibly. I'm just trying to make sense of everything.
I know it's a wet situation. You know what I mean? It's just this train is off the tracks. And if you want my help, I just got to tell you that I don't know about a fish. The bird ate it. It was a whole scene. Bird ate the fish, and we were a lot of screaming going on. And you know, as a doctor, I can't really, you know, it's hard to tell what killed them because they're already dead. You know, so I don't know. I still got.
We have to autopsy that bird.
Oh,
Damn it, these boat crimes, they get so complicated. Another life lost needlessly.
oh, I took, you know, hey, that's part of it. You know, you just 1 minute you're chugging along, and then you just run out of steam, and then you're blocking a dirt road, and everybody's honking their horn.
Okay. These trains. I'm sorry, can't talk about it.
Was the guy with the bird in here?
Yeah.
I'd love to see him.
Achoo! Oh, yeah. Achoo!
Yeah, I'm the,
Oh, God.
Now a word from our sponsors.
Thank you for getting those sneezes in there. They were important to me. Jake, again, there was a thing that I jotted down about I can't find it now, but the cop's backwards cap said cop.
Yeah.
Also, hats off to Elyse for catching Ashley's line about plane crimes, train crimes, boat crimes. And Becky for dropping some real 90s product placement on us. That's what we've been missing. So we've gotten 2/3 of our episode down. Typically at this point, we would say no new characters, but if you're inspired to show us somebody else in this morgue or hospital, introduce someone else, living or dead, we're not going to stop you. I want to check in with the actors. We'll start this time with John. John, at this part in the episode, is there anything that you told us about your character's backstory that is developing more for you or that is changing for you? Is there anything that that you've learned about your character that you could share for us to use in future episodes, for example?
well, I think that I was very much trying to mislead the cop, and I don't think it was. Well, I think the cop's still on to me. So a little bit of there's a little bit of a guilty but trying to get away with it thing. I think I might be not a great guy in some ways. But I love the character.
That's important that you
That's why I said it. Because it is so important that Yeah, I don't, in some ways I feel like I'm the character that might not be the driving heart of this series in some ways, but I feel like I sort of deserve a comeuppance or something to happen.
Yeah. I think
Um,
you illustrated that maybe this show is a bit of a procedural, and there's sort of like a Law and Order style shady character, a greasy stock bro, each episode. And then there's like a reveal. Elyse, same question. With your initial like backstory that you told us about your character, is there anything you'd like to add to that, or anything that was like contradictory that's sort of evolving for you?
I mean, the hint was dropped by one of the lovely writers that the cop can't talk about trains because of a family thing. And I'm wondering if that family thing connects to Dr. Greg, possibly. Hint, hint.
I mean, that
It'd be fun.
cocaine son could definitely grow up to be. Don't let me influence. Nick, same question. I know one answer. The collecting trains we've locked in, and that's seasons long. Anything else about your character that we need to know for like the end of this episode, and also the future of the season, or anything from the backstory that's changing for you?
I definitely think I don't know why I was playing this game of like they're I mean they're terrible doctors too, but they're all like they're all terrible doctors, but they're also terrible at hiding stuff. So that I think that's why I was like I don't know why I was like, oh no, they can't seem to they're not good at being sneaky. And that's why the more guy and everybody's just like too loud about everything. But yeah, I think that's like I don't know, they're just terrible doctors. And I mean, Dr. Greg is willing to take a bribe for a train, and that doesn't even feel. It's like you'd have to tear down a lot of the hospital to even get a train station in there. So he's not the brightest guy in the world, but maybe he's good. I don't know. Maybe he's good at surgery or something. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, you build that train, and then what floor is the morgue on? Like you have to.
yeah.
Be on like a monorail to go through the
Yeah.
middle of it. Let's check in with our writers. We'll start this time with Becky. Any loose threads that you want wrapped up in Act 3, or any seeds that you'd like our actors to plant for the rest of the season?
I mean, I am so intrigued by Bartleby and that goth character, and I would just love to see like what the rest of his shift is looking like today, and what maybe set something up for him for the next episode.
Jake, same question. Any loose threads you'd like wrapped up for this episode, and anything that you'd like us to sort of hint at for the future episodes?
I would like one of the employees to just have a moment where they're really at peace with they're in the morgue and that's the right place to be.
I think that's important for all of us to just like,
Yes.
I'm on my path.
It is not a problem that I'm here. It is my purpose.
Yeah. Ashley, same initial question. Any loose plot threads that you'd like to see wrapped up, or something that you'd like us to lay the groundwork for the future?
I would agree with that. That bird, the goth character and that bird. I mean, the dropping of the autopsy of the bird, I just picture like that bird is his life. And so like the panic that would ensue if like the rumor went around like that cop is coming for your bird, like that, just like the thoughts around that were very intriguing to me. That was funny.
And Ashley, could you give us a line of dialogue that you'd like to hear in our final act?
Not in my world.
Not in my world. Okay, everybody hear that? Not in my world. All right, we've got an episode to wrap up. We've got a full season of TV to spring forth into. We've got characters with crazy dilemmas and conflicts. We've got writing and acting to do. Em, are you ready for Act 3 of Rigor Mortis?
I am ready. Let's go.
Hey, Bartleby and Bartleby's owner.
Yeah. Sip.
I know you're just a morgue guy and I'm a future doctor, but I'm sorry, sorry about what's gonna happen to your bird.
There's no way. They'll never take my bird. They can try, but they had to snatch out of my cold, dead hands. My heart died a long time ago, but there's no way they're taking Bartleby's.
I wish your bird could talk, because then the police could just ask it questions. And then we wouldn't have to kill it.
Bartleby, would you ever dare talk to a dirty cop? No. No. Bartleby knows what's up. Bartleby knows what's happening. I know that they don't want this morgue in a hospital, right? They don't want the morgue here. I heard words are a disease, and we're all sick with the flu down here. We know what's happening. Okay. Like they already took away all my morgue space and said, oh, it needs to be more family friendly. And we put out all the highlights. I bought a sectional sofa. We got a big screen TV. That's why all the bodies are upstairs, because I got nowhere to put them. Because I got to sit here and entertain people and bring Girl Scout cookies in. And then I know what he wants. He wants a train so he could bulldoze the morgue. Death is my life. Okay.
No,
Death is
and
my life.
listen, did you say you had Girl Scout cookies?
I do. I have Do-si-dos and Thin Mints. Darkest kind.
Who has Girl Scout cookies?
Oh, I do it down here. Are you here to identify a body, or you just want to snack and hang out for a little bit? Yay, Morris Hospital. I've taken hospitality training.
That's a nice bird. I was wondering about the cookies. I'd love to buy as many as you had.
Oh, you would like to buy a couple? Okay. Well, take your pick. We got Do-si-dos, so we got Thin Mints. I'd be happy to put them in a container that has not been used, I promise you.
Please, please. How does $10,000 sound?
10,000 just for some cookies?
Cookies and the bird.
Sir,
Much for the bird.
how dare you?
How dare me? That bird knows things and you know it. Yep. Zoom tight. Zoom tight.
How dare you don't know. There are two things in this world that I enjoy, and that is sitting in a dark room with candles and my bird Bartleby. Because money is nothing but paper, and all of these systems, they will crumble one day because the sun is going to explode in 200,000 years and erase all of human history. So you better enjoy the moments you have, or else you're going to end up like one of these people.
You know what moment I'm going to enjoy? I'm going to get Dr. Greg his train station, and it's going to go right through here, and I'm not even going to need the bird after that.
I knew
How do
it.
you like that?
I knew it. I knew it. I knew something was up. We
That's
didn't
right.
need lights down here. I knew something was up. And you're going to come in here into this is my morgue. This is my castle of sadness.
This is the Fisher-Price Morgue Hospital Transport Center in 2028.
Fisher,
Wild to build a train.
if we had an undercover cop, you'd be in a ton of trouble right now.
Well, I don't see an undercover cop. Do you?
I'm paging one right now.
Last offer for the bird. Take it or leave it.
Hold on, let me talk. Bartleby, I couldn't.
I gotta go.
Bartleby, I couldn't do that to you. I know you want me to have a nice life, but what is nice without each other? Because it's just the connections that we have. No, I could not, Bartleby. No.
Bartleby, I just got a page.
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad you're down here. You must be a cop because of your backwards hat. I didn't realize that earlier. That's why I was blabbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, ask away.
Where did Fisher go? I got a page that said Fisher 110% is bribing medical staff, and that's an arrest thing I could do. I don't know. I'm just a boat crime doctor. Crop.
Bartleby, do you want to tell him or do I? Do you want to tell him? This bird can talk. I got $10,000 for $10,000 for the cookies and the place. gonna have a metro train station by 2028. I didn't want to say that when they were around here. This is a
Does
tape
Bar-
recorder.
Does Bartleby know where I can find him? Can you fly over the hospital?
The Fisher Price headquarters is at 3098 Southwest Avenue. If you see a Dairy Queen, you've gone too far. I printed out all the directions on a fax. I can fax it to you. Bartleby, you know so much about where to go in this town. Bartleby, hey, it's a bird. Aerial view, imagine if you had that, you just look at an aerial view where you're going to go. That would be crazy.
Okay, it's a 30-year plan to change this hospital. Everything's falling into place. Except I never got that bird. I don't need the bird. I'm getting away with everything else.
Mr. Price,
Yes?
I just got a fax from a Dr. Greg. I just got a fax. Smoke on the water.
Smoke on the water. And
I'm not sure if that's code or if maybe he's a fan of a song.
smoke on the water. What is that? And
Hold on.
fire in the sky.
Uh-oh, I'm getting another fax. We're about to go on a ride to a crazy train. Are these codes, Mr. Price?
Water. Boats. Crazy train.
Oh, there's another fax coming in.
Hey, tell me what that one says now.
They're on to us. That's all it says.
On to us.
Yeah.
Well,
You want me to fax something back?
yeah. Get a fax cover sheet.
Okay.
And make sure to call the number after we send it to make sure that they received it
Okay.
as per company policy, and have it say who is on to us.
Okay. Who
And
is
we probably shouldn't put a bribe down on a fax, right? It's a fax. No one.
we
It's
have a
not.
cover sheet.
It's yeah.
We have a cover sheet.
Yeah, that's exactly. It'll protect the privacy. So say, yeah, ask who. Ask who if it's that undercover cop.
Okay. Undercover cop, is that you? Pages 2, including cover. Okay. I'll be back. I'm gonna go fax this real quick. Well, I'll let you know what they say.
It is amazing how quickly we can communicate in this day and age. Can I just say,
I know, I love the future. It's great.
this used to be a telegram.
Yeah, I mean, it's just nice to be able to say, hey, I'm going to send this message to you electronically, and you might get it in a couple of hours. I love it.
Just this morning, I was on a boat with 150 of my friends who tragically died, and now I'm planning the hospital and getting away with it by the end of the same day.
Oh, I was going to ask you why it's so empty in there, and that makes sense. So everybody died?
You know how we have bad news Fridays and it's only Monday?
Yeah.
It's going to be a really bad Friday.
Well, your secret's safe with me. If we got all this space, can I take a couple of cubicles and make it kind of like a living area?
I like that. That's what they would want, a living area to honor the dead. Yes, that's beautiful. That's wonderful.
Dr.
Area and fax
Body
receiving.
hall. Dr. Greg to the body hall.
What was that? Heard a thud.
Yes. I can never tell exactly where that's coming from.
Hey, Dr. Greg, thanks for meeting me in the body hall.
Yeah, no problem. It's cool. I mean, yeah, I feel like I've told you everything, but
Yeah.
I mean,
I got a hot tip from a bird.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I don't mean some hot chick. I mean an actual. Have you met Bartleby? Yeah.
Yeah.
The crow.
Just thinking about it. Just thinking about that bird. I have actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he sent me a fax. And he's also undercover. So
Oh, I knew it. I saw that bird wearing a backwards cap the other day.
yeah. So
I
we've
knew it.
got yeah. Yeah, we've got him exactly. We've got Fisher exactly where we want him. And now we're just waiting. Achoo.
Yeah.
Achoo.
It's I'm gonna level with you. I mean, oh hey, well, never mind. I don't know what I was gonna talk about. Hey there, Fisher. How you doing? I'm just sitting here reminiscing. How old are you, Mr. Cop?
Me, I'm 44.
Oh,
Years young.
yeah, that's a good age.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be about as old as my son. You know, be about as old as my son.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. How old are you?
I am 76. I wear it well.
Yeah. You're about as old as my dad. I haven't seen him in a long time though.
I
That's
just
Yeah.
wanted to tell the two of you specifically that I am out of town on a train heading west.
Oh,
On a
okay.
train.
Oh,
What's the problem there, right?
I couldn't say. You know what would be nice if there was a station here you could board on.
Wait,
You know?
out of town, but not out of state, right? Because we had a deal.
Obviously, I'm going to the capital to, well, never you mind. Get authorization for the train station that I'm building. You got to
I
take a
don't touch
train to make a
train.
train. Take a train to make a train. That's the way we shake a train.
Oh, I'm so glad that we are just getting this all out in the open. Oh my God.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
we
then
are?
I'll be on my way.
That was a confession, right? That was are we confessing to this bribery scheme, or is that I'm so bad at this?
Oh, no, we're fighting it. We're
Oh
fighting
yeah,
it all
okay.
day.
Whew. I can save a
What
life
the
and then I
money's
can't.
about?
You know?
What do you think the
Okay.
money's about, man?
You were saying that about the train thing. I thought we were letting go of this, so I didn't know I'm not
You
good at
told me,
this
you
stuff.
told me the cop had an issue with the train, so I was going to get on a train to do something villainous. And
I'm right here, dude. And you're under arrest.
And
Wow.
that's our show.
talked again.
That was very exciting. I will say that you did take us far enough away from the sadness of the morgue. That wasn't, you know, we started this episode and I was like, oh, somebody has to really give the bad news. Somebody has to, you know, ID a body, see someone's tattoo, someone's locket that they never left home without. And instead we've got talking birds and trains and crime and greasy stock bros. This was really, really something. I do want to call out one line. I forget where this came from, but I wrote down spaghettis. Somebody used spaghettis as a verb in the writer's room.
Yeah.
Jake.
What was that?
What
Something
did I
spaghetti
say?
out of the fax machine, maybe? What was it?
Oh, wet body spaghetti. I gotta do a better job. I missed it. I kept I would look over and that'd be so far behind. I'm so sorry. All that.
No,
I'd love to see a
part
wet
of the
body
show.
spaghetti out of a fax machine.
The written text going is part of the show. That was one of the things that I've heard like banana as a verb before. I'm gonna start using spaghetti. Let's check in with our actors. We'll start with Nick. Nick, does this show, Rigor Mortis, remind you of any other shows you've seen? Or is there a show that you would pair this with in like the primetime lineup?
Yeah, you know, I don't know why I was getting a Scrubs vibe. Definitely like a Scrubs vibe. It felt like a kind of a Scrubs thing, a very inept hospital, and it was like Scrubs meets some CSI, like, you know what I mean? Maybe the CSI Scrubs, something like that. I was kind of getting a vibe of like, this is procedural, and then at the same time, this is a very inept hospital that they're terrible at secrets and they love to fax, and the bird does talk, but he didn't, like that. It's kind of just fun. I liked it.
I may be remembering this incorrectly, but on Scrubs, there was like a sad lawyer that would show up once in a while. He was like a recurring character and he was like a real wreck. He would fit in beautifully on this.
Yeah.
Elyse, same question. Any shows this reminds you of, or something that you would put it with on a lineup?
I was also gonna say Scrubs, but I feel like the potential father-son duo, if this were to keep going, it's kind of like Modern Family farcical, but like in a crime hospital setting.
Yeah, totally. I like the idea also, besides John having like a procedural criminal each week, there's just another member of a family who is introduced, and it's like, no, I'm his daughter. I'm your mother. John, same question. Any shows this reminds you of?
I thought CSI Scrubs said it all in a way. Yeah, a little bit of, I mean, I feel like it has the potential, we don't have the like graphics, but I feel like if you've ever seen like The Resident, or where they'll have like they're doing bone surgery, but they're just like it's like cartoon, like I feel like some cartoon violence in the like both morgue and hospital would, if we had a graphics department. That kind of reminded me. It felt like it would be a little slapsticky in those environments.
I like the idea of the external shot of the hospital. It's like a little Fisher-Price playset hospital. On top. Let's check in with our writers. Ashley, we had a lot happen in our pilot. In your mind, what happens in episode 2?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's obviously the relationship continues between we kind of figure out the father-son dynamic. Maybe like they start Dr. Greg sees the errors of his ways, or starts to uncover that, and like that relationship kind of blooms into like this like crime fighting hospital tag team duo.
I love that. That also goes back to the initial thing of all of the bodies. They assume all the bodies are from crime.
Yeah. Yep.
We're dusting under someone's fingerprints, even if they were 100 years old.
Yeah.
Jake, similar question, but this is a 90s sitcom. It might get like 30 episodes in a season. What's our first season finale? How are we ending this season?
Oh man. So they're gonna there's a funding issue, and they are gonna lose the morgue. The morgue is gonna go out of business. So they need to like win a talent show or something to save it.
Karma.
I love that. I love the idea of the morgue maybe has a gazebo. It has like a historical bell or something inside that they have to. It's gonna an old tree inside the morgue is gonna be cut down. Becky, same question, but where are we in season 5?
Wow. Okay, season 5. I mean, I feel like Fisher Price maybe is gonna come back for like a season. Like maybe he's like the villain for a bit of it, and then he comes back. So I'd love to see like it's the Fisher Price of the 30-year plan. He owns the morgue and hospital. And like they're just dealing with now he's no longer scheming, but he has to be an admin, and like what's that like, the day in and out of paperwork. It's not what he signed up for.
And all the product placements now are stickers on toe tags and things. Everybody's sponsored by something. So I really feel like we did something. I feel like we created a hit sitcom, 10 seasons in a movie, an HBO reunion in 20 years. But there is one thing that is missing from this sitcom. I believe that every good sitcom has a theme song. So while we're saying goodbye tonight, our actors and our writers, if you feel inspired, are gonna sing us out with the theme to Rigor Mortis. Everybody who's watching tonight, thank you so much. Follow and subscribe to Trident Network on every platform and every social media. Everybody in your Twitch squares, feel free to do your best opening credit poses while we sing out with the theme from Rigor Mortis.
Rigor mortis. Sometimes bad things happen on a lake. What do you do with bodies? For goodness sakes, rigor mortis. Bodies, bodies, bodies.
Rigor mortis. Body,
Bodies,
body,
bodies,
body.
bodies.
Sometimes you don't know who your dad is, and sometimes you're obsessed with boat crime. Maybe those things will come together later in life. Who's to say? Rigor mortis. Rigor mortis.
Good night. Thank you so much.
Bodies, bodies, bodies.